you summon the Cenobites, who are Pinhead and his brood.
cronies. Their names are like, what are they? It's like
Butterball.
Chomper and... Wait, are you being serious?
I'm being very serious.
No, it is not Butterball.
It is Butterball. I think in the first
William,
movie.
shut up.
Kristen, I am not kidding.
It's not Butterball.
I am not kidding.
Look it up right now.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to Guide to the Unknown. I'm Kristen.
And I'm her little brother, William.
And this week we are diving into cyberspace to find the scariest tales we can.
And we failed.
Yeah.
These stories suck.
Right, mine isn't even very cyberspacey.
Is it not?
Actually, not really.
I only know your movie as the one where people go, people always go like, oh, horror movies, they always end up in space.
Right.
Jason X, Leprechaun in space, even Pinhead went to space.
Yeah. No, there's a Pinhead video game in World in Mine, but they really just mention it.
Oh, okay.
It's not a huge... I mean, it drives a lot of what's going on, theoretically, but, like, it's a normal movie where they mention that there's this weird video game.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So I had an idea a couple of weeks back. Last week's episode was phase 1.
Right.
Talking about Y2K. And it's, an era where everybody was very paranoid and afraid that the entire world society was going to collapse. Mm-hmm. And the flip side of that, I think, is, that was an idea about how society misunderstood what computers were.
Right.
And then this week's episode...
Or how they work, and yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And this week's episode is storytellers and Hollywood misunderstanding how computers work. And I've always been curious about these turn-of-the-century films that seemed to be about nothing more than, I don't understand the internet.
Yeah.
And it scares me.
Right.
What if the internet was evil?
Yes.
Because it might be.
It could be. Who knows? We're not familiar enough with it yet to know that it isn't.
And so because of that, we picked a couple of films that seemed like they might come out of that early, I'm afraid of the internet phase. Mm-hmm. Fear.com.
Right.
Which I watched.
Yes.
And Hellraiser.
Hellworld.
Which Kristen watched.
I did.
And I'm so happy that Kristen had to watch a Hellraiser movie because they were gross.
Straight to video fare.
Was it really?
Yes.
Yeah, that makes you the premiere.
Yeah, that's right.
I watched an episode of Seinfeld last night. That's what Kramer said. He was watching the Gene Picks. And he goes, like this movie right here, straight to video. That makes me the premiere.
That's awesome.
So... I don't know. I was excited about these. On the one hand, I've got this like long-standing theory that horror, frequently, not always, is born out of humankind's fear of developing, growing society and technology that's introduced. Like Scream is a scary movie about how cell phones make it possible for somebody to be stalking you.
From anywhere.
From just outside your house.
And they can communicate with you and mess with you.
So it only makes sense that somebody would look at the internet
and be like, there's potential here.
Yes. What is it about the internet that scares us on a primal level? Mm-hmm. Scream captured how cell phones, scare you on a primal level.
I gotta tell you, something else captures it. What? Hellworld.
Did it?
It is far more phone-centric than it is video game-centric.
Oh, so they were stuck. they barely got past the phone before they even figured out internet and games.
Right.
Okay.
It's like the Nokia that you would play Snake on.
Yeah, sure.
It's distributed to everybody.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I know. No.
It's in the palm of my hands. So Fear.com in particular. Do you want to go first or should I?
I want you to go first because I want to hear about it. I'm very curious. But before we move on, I want to mention that if you are watching the video version of the show, and maybe even if you're listening, you might be hearing a couple balloonish squeaks. And that's because we have this amazing Scream-themed balloon display from Carried Away Balloon Company. Now, you can find them on Instagram at Carried Away Balloon Co. They are friends of mine. Laura and Heather make these amazing balloon decorations for parties, for any kind of stuff. Actually, there's a salon that has these awesome balloon columns that they made that have been up for like a month now because they last so well. And Laura and Heather listen to the show, which is so cool. And they offered to make us a giant Scream balloon display in celebration of the new movie coming out. So we have this on set with us. We're going to have it on set with us for as long as it lasts, just because it's so awesome. So I really recommend that you go check out the video version of the show just to see this. But I had to acknowledge it and shout them out. And if you are in New Jersey or the New Jersey area, I highly recommend working with Laura and Heather for your next event that could use a little touch of balloon.
It is incredible.
Yes.
The amount of like craft and cleverness that went into building this. And
very clever. You're right. It's very clever and creative. So there is a balloon that is shaped like Ghostface's head and has his mask printed on. Then, I think this is so clever.
Yeah.
There's a skinny black balloon that goes around the top of it, so it looks like a hood from the front, which is amazing. Then there is a white balloon that has blood spatter all over it inside a clear balloon for a little shine, and it says, "What's your favorite scary movie?" with an old phone on it. There's a little balloon with the Guides the Unknown logo. There are these like kind of sharp, like sticky balloons that are coming out.
Stabby.
Yeah, it's so cool. So yes, I had to say it.
Yes, and I will certainly. Carried Away Balloon. What's their
Carried Away Balloon Co.
Carried Away Balloon Co. is going to be getting a phone call from me quite soon.
Yes.
For more. But also, this serves as a reminder that the new Scream movie is out. It's in theaters right now.
Yeah.
Kristen and I went out to see it on Thursday night. We went back to see it in a 4DX screening where the seats move and they shoot air at you and spray you with water.
Yeah, I hated it.
We hated it. And we recorded our review, which is out right now on patreon.com/GTTUpod.
That's right.
It is nearly 2 hours long.
Yes, it is. And we have a little portable balloon thing for the car because I told Laura we're going to be recording in the car a lot. And then, like I said, she took it upon herself to make us something portable. It's so cool.
The ingenuity.
Yes.
It's wild.
I know.
But go to patreon.com/GTTUpod. Get that Scream show. It is starting at the Banshee level. That is $8. Demons get everything we do every single Monday.
Yes.
But so go check out that show and send us your thoughts on the new Scream.
Yeah.
I know I still have more to say, quite frankly.
Of course.
All right. So let's talk about these like cyber nightmare horror movies. These misunderstandings of the internet.
Right.
I have for you what I think is baldly a ripoff.
Okay.
And they insist it's not.
Okay.
Fear.com. Do you have much familiarity with Fear.com?
I can't even remember what it's about, and you told me last week.
Yeah.
So no.
So it on the surface, it is a sort of, one of these sort of like kind of police procedural type stories where a detective, in this case, Stephen Dorff, is trying to catch the Doctor. The Doctor is a serial killer who live streams himself torturing people.
Okay.
Usually pretty blonde women. He will torture them in front of cameras that have, he can see the live viewer count, just like us live streaming this show.
Right.
So they've kind of got that on the news
that's
a
true.
little bit. But the idea for him is that he can't feel pleasure or pain or something, and so he's decided to torture.
Like the Cenobites.
I know.
Just mixing it all up. The Cenobites and Hellraiser.
That's right. He's decided to torture these women, and only if they finally say, "Kill me," will he kill them.
Yikes.
So the entire events of the movie are kicked off because the Doctor is sort of, I guess, sending notes to Stephen Dorff.
Okay.
Like a taunting serial killer style thing. And he most recently seems to have abducted a woman named Jeannie.
Okay.
Everything is about Jeannie. Stephen Dorff hunting the Doctor who killed Jeannie, and Stephen Dorff works with a partner who's a doctor.
Also named Jeannie?
Who's named Tara.
Okay.
All right. Those are really the four characters because it can get confusing.
Okay.
But here's the synopsis from IMDb. A New York City detective, Stephen Dorff, investigates mysterious deaths occurring 48 hours after users log onto a site named Fear.com. Now, just so you know.
Already problems.
That's Fear.com.com.
Oh.
Because when they were making this movie, they found out that Fear.com was a website that already existed, and whoever owned it refused to sell.
Do you know what Fear.com was?
I do not know.
Is?
It's nothing today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So in turn, they had to change their movie so that characters type in fear.com in words.
Yep, right.
.com. So
Oh.
Feardotcom. That's the name of the movie, and that's what Steven Dorff types into his hotbox.
Look.
.com.
What? Oh, like hotbox.
It's like the
what?
URL. It's like, a text field. They call it a hotbox in this.
Oh.
So he types in...
Does anybody else in the world call it a hotbox? No. I've just never heard that. Okay.
I don't think so. Not that I remember anyway.
Okay.
So he has to type in Feardotcom.
So silly.
.com. Fear.com.com. Here are some of the taglines for this movie. Want to see a really killer website? It's the last site you'll ever see.
It's not bad, actually, for what this is.
This could be just...
The last site you'll ever see? SITE?
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it says, or no? It's site.
No, it was SITE.
Okay.
You're right. I do like the double play there.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah. And then abandon all hope. Access all evil. Enter fear.com.
That is really long.
But it's not enterfear.com. It's enterfear.com.com.
Right.
It was directed by William...
Unless they're talking about the movie.
Yeah.
Enterfear.com. Welcome.
Well, no, because they type it out as if it's a URL, but they didn't have the rights to that URL.
Right. Okay. Never mind.
It couldn't suck more. Like, I dare say...
Sure.
If you can't get the rights to fear.com and you're making a movie called fear.com, do not fix this by just making your characters go to the URL fear.com.com.
Yeah.
Change the website.
Right.
And dub over those lines.
Well, I've got a question right off the top. Do you recommend this movie? Is this
no.
Did you enjoy watching it?
I mean, yeah.
Okay. All right.
I will say, it took me a long time to get through this movie.
Is it a long movie, or you just had to keep taking breaks?
It is a long movie. I had to keep taking breaks.
Had to hydrate.
Yeah. It is. It's one of these movies that, like, this is so hard for me to explain. The sound in the movie is horrible. There's like no ambient sound. All you hear is like people's like shoes.
Yeah.
Like footsteps, and like then they reach for their keys. It's just like everything sounds like it's in like a hollow, empty environment.
Yeah.
It's like the movie was made in space.
Yeah.
And this is something that I'm used to seeing in crappy movies at like 3 a.m. When I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I would just like watch like TV, and they would run trash.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night. I don't know what this quality is of sound design where there's just no ambient sound. There's no like city hum. They'll go to the police station.
Yeah, how could this be? I mean, they were filming it in the world, right?
No, all of this was filmed on sets. This entire movie is almost pitch black dark. You can't see a goddamn thing. It is horrible to look at. It's horrible to listen to. Those are the two parts of experience,
of movies.
Of ingesting
really?
it.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But I do want to say
How was Dorff?
It was Dorff. You know what? Not enough Dorff.
Yeah, Dorff is good.
I like a Dorff.
Yeah.
Listen, Dorff is on top.
He's
for me.
often one of the best parts of a thing that he's in.
Is that right? You
I think so. I think whenever he shows up, you're like, okay, this guy, he's got it. You know?
I do like me some Dorff.
Yeah.
But he didn't have all that much to work with. All of this is like very dry and serious and stupid.
I would say, how can it be dry and serious?
I don't know. Now, I hated everything about how this movie looked and sounded. And I want to call out director William Malone, who retired from movies shortly after making this.
I'm calling you out, Malone.
And he also directed House on Haunted Hill.
Okay.
Starring Jeffrey Rush, Famke Janssen, Taye Diggs, Ali Larter.
Okay. Yep.
And Chris Kattan.
Chris Kattan?
Yeah.
What? I remembered that movie until you said Chris Kattan.
I'm going to need to see it immediately. Like immediately. Can we contrive a reason?
William, of course we can. Look at what we have.
You're right.
Look what we've done here.
Look around us.
Yeah.
I have one piece of trivia for this Chris Kattan movie, House on Haunted Hill. It was nominated for Worst Remake at the 1999 Stinkers Bad Movie Awards, but it lost to The Haunting.
Oh, that's right. Remember they came out like at the same time.
I have no recollection of this. I could not believe it.
I kind of remember it. We'll keep talking. I just need to poke that light because it's really in my eyes.
Oh, okay, whatever.
Keep talking though.
Fear.com has a 3.4 on IMDb, which is bad. It has a 3% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is terrible.
That's very low.
The summary they gave it, as frustrating as a 404 error, Fear.com is a stylish, incoherent, and often nasty mess with few scares, which is maybe one of the most damning things a person could say.
Definitely.
And then here's what happens. So Kristen's trying to adjust the lights with my guitar. Poked it straight into my eyes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm just trying to... Okay.
All right. Just so you know, there's a stepladder right there. Well, anyway. And knocking the camera.
Oh, son of a bitch. I'm sorry.
No, it's seamless. Nobody could tell.
Sorry.
That's all right. So.
Oh, it's much better.
Is it better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So, all right, here's what happens in the movie. So, I wrote, Steven Dorff works in a department that has like 0 lamps. It's it's so dark. So people, they go to this website, Fear.com. 48 hours later, they die. Symptoms include bleeding from the eyes. Mm-hmm. At one point, they have like a German guy who comes in bleeding from the eyes, and they're like, maybe this is like a virus or something like that. And I was like, yeah, what if it is a virus? Like, it made me think of like COVID-y kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
well, it's a computer virus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he has conversations with his like partner or love interest, Tara, who's like, yeah, I study medical blah, 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 and bugs. Do you like bugs?
What do you think about bugs?
He goes, I don't like bugs. And she goes, you sleep with bugs, right? Dust mites. They look like little lobsters.
Ew,
They're distantly related to lobsters. And I was like, is this all the extended metaphor of like real bugs crossed with computer
why are we
bugs?
talking about bugs so much?
Yeah. I mean, I guess it makes some sense. So some of the victims include Udo Kier, who is stumbling through a subway and sees a little girl wearing all white. Skin is like pale white, like paper white. Blonde wig, playing with a white bouncy ball. She's on the subway tracks. He's like sweating and looking disgusting. And he chases her down onto the subway tracks, and then a train comes, and when it hits him, it bounces him into the wall somehow. Which I'm a little puzzled by. Yeah, it didn't like squash him or flatten him.
I don't think that's what happens.
I don't think so. But so he got bounced into the wall, and he died. And his symptoms are similar to what a lot of people are experiencing, which is what confused me. So there's a serial killer named the Doctor who will kidnap and torture women.
Okay.
And he shows that live on fear.com.com.
Right.
If you go to fear.com.com, you'll die in 48 hours.
That's so much.
So, yeah.
I
so
feel
there's
like one of those would be fine.
You do one.
Yeah.
So, and that begs the question, if the Doctor wants the subscribers, if he wants to see his live numbers,
right,
is he killing? Are people dying every 2 days?
Right, and is he responsible for that?
He does not appear to be, spoiler alert, aware.
Right, he doesn't even know that this is a problem.
No.
That is so weird.
It is unique. It has nothing to do.
Right.
It has nothing to do with his wants.
Right. His wants are being taken care of.
Yes. So okay. Oh boy. Okay. So a lab tech finds the URL for fear.com.com in a victim's computer and logs on. And once she gets to the website, a cockroach comes out of the computer. Where I was like...
So there's a lot of actual bug stuff.
Yeah.
And, oh my God. Yeah. Wow, this really does sound bad.
Now, here's where it gets even more complicated. The website somehow...
Oh, spiders.
God. Oh my God, that's just drawing you in. The website can somehow, when you log on, go like, oh, have you come to play, Kristen? And you'll go, and you can type into the hot box, the text box, like, how do you know my name? And they'll be like, because I want to play. And it's a human voice. It's a lady on the screen. Is the Doctor producing a video, or is there,
what?
That's not even explained. That's like not even part of it, that she can speak directly to the person who's sitting at the keyboard. Not explained.
That's so weird. And also that means that he was using some sort of like voice manipulation technology like they have on TikTok now. Like a voice can read out your captions.
Right. But I don't even know if he knows that that's happening.
Oh my God. So what does he know? All he knows is that he's there killing blonde women.
That's right.
And broadcasting it. But all of this stuff is happening on the domain that he ostensibly owns.
That's
that
correct.
He's unaware of. This guy is out of control.
Oh, 100%. He must be stopped.
He's not at the wheel.
So Steven Dorff and Tara are working together to investigate Feardotcom.com.
Right.
And figure out who the doctor is who's killing people and figure out why people die 2 days after visiting the website.
Yeah.
So that leads them to some guy who I think used to work with or alongside the doctor. Mm-hmm. And he explains a big theory that they had together. The idea that getting people all over the globe to connect their computers together would create a supercomputer.
Okay.
Therefore, a neural network.
Okay.
So, and that the energy collected by all these computers being linked could be harnessed and might also be fed back into the world. And they go, well, what do you mean? And he goes, power, evil, you know?
Yeah.
They're like, well, what? They act like, my God. But I act like, what are you talking about?
What are you saying?
What is happening?
Yeah, what do you literally want to happen?
So everybody logging onto the same website gives power to who?
So
what?
like, kind of like the Edward Nygma box that you put on your TV?
From Batman Forever.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
okay.
It's all feeding into Jim Carrey's brain.
But how? I mean, there's a mechanism. I mean, you know.
Don't worry about it. It
okay.
works.
All right, I'm not worried.
It
That's
works.
fine. Yeah.
So they explain that maybe the people who go to the website and die 2 days later are dying because of their own worst fear.
Okay.
You see, I guess Udo Kier is afraid of subways. Mm-hmm. Some guy dies in a car crash. And we see that. I was puzzled because they already explained serial killer doctor.
Right.
And then we see a guy see that little girl again and get in his car and drop a cigarette into his lap.
Oh, so they're all seeing this scary little girl?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then his car, just of its own accord, speeds into a wall.
Okay.
And Tara explains he was always afraid of car crashes. Then there's this German couple, and she, the girlfriend, was found dead in a bathtub. Mm-hmm. And
afraid of bathtubs?
Afraid of drowning.
Yeah.
And then this exchange happens. Steven Dorff says, but she didn't drown. And then Tara goes, but she died near water.
Well, she died in water, didn't
and
she?
I wrote flimsy. Right? Your entire premise is people are dying by their own worst fears. Her worst fear was drowning. Uh-huh. She died near water. That's close.
Wait. But didn't she die in the bathtub?
Yeah.
She died in water, right?
But she didn't drown. If she was afraid of drowning.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah. Well, how'd she die?
I don't know. You expect me to know these things?
This is so weird. Wait, also, is it... Okay, are the people logging in to watch the bad guy show?
I've never seen anyone in this movie actually get to watch it.
Okay,
because you
why
show
are they
up
going
and
on this?
it goes, do you like to watch? And
Yeah.
you can hit yes or no.
Why are they going to fear.com.com then?
I guess theoretically to watch, but every time you log in, some robot goes like, oh, hi, Will.
Yeah, right.
Do you want to play?
And then they click out of it or something?
They say yes. Well, actually, we see what happens because Tara says to Steven Dorff, promise me you won't visit that site. Next scene, Steven Dorff types in fear.com.com, big in the center of the screen.
He couldn't resist.
He says he wants to play a game. The robot lady says he'll have 48 hours to find a victim or else he'll die. Genie, the victim Genie I mentioned before. He says yes. And then he's blasted away from the computer amidst chaotic visions. A smokestack, a lady in barbed wire, some toes. It's like some toes with just like a foot. I don't know. I wrote, the visions are incomprehensible. Screaming faces, Dutch angles, warp effects, just pure barf.
I can't remember what a Dutch angle is. What is that?
It's like that tilted 45-degree angle.
Yep.
And he's like blasted onto his back away from the computer. So I don't know how you get to see this live stream of the doctor. This is when a damn website's in your way.
Is it like when the camera zooms in on Garth in Wayne's World when he's looking at the hot girl? Ow.
Steven Dorff is taken away in an ambulance.
The intensity of his own thoughts just sent him flying.
It's true. He says to Tara, he just says crazy stuff. He goes, if the will is strong, they continue to live in the wires.
I feel like I don't know what the hell is going on.
Well,
did you know what was going on while you were watching this?
No. This movie, to be honest, it's a mess. It is an ugly, slow-moving,
I'm having a hard time following the thread.
There are too many things.
Just stuff is happening, it sounds like.
Well, I'll pare it down. Right now, all I'm going to talk to you about
You're doing a great job. I'm just saying, this is crazy.
Well, you don't know if I'm doing a good job or not.
Yeah, you're right. You could be sucking.
I could.
Yeah.
So Steven Dorff's in the hospital. He went to Feardotcom. Tara is now going to continue the investigation, and she is solely looking for this previous victim, Jeannie. All right?
Okay.
The doctor's out there. He's got yet another victim. Tara is trying to find out what happened to Jeannie. Here we go. So Tara visits Jeannie's mom's house, where she sees photos of Jeannie as a little girl when she was a very young, very blonde girl in a white dress with a white bouncy ball. So Jeannie is the girl from the visions that people are having. It's explained that she was a hemophiliac, meaning that even a single cut could kill her as she bled out. The mom says at some point, now I mentioned that Steven Dorff had visions of a smokestack with like a door in him. The mom now says to Tara, yeah, there's this old factory down the street, an abandoned factory with smokestacks. It's just 2 minutes away.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, oh, that's where they are.
Yeah.
That is correct, but it's going to take another 45 minutes for anybody to realize
Wait, that's where who is?
That's where the doctor is.
Oh, okay.
The doctor like tortures people.
Yep.
And then I was confused actually because I thought maybe she did go to the smokestacks here because they cut and she's at a very an industrial factory type environment.
Yeah.
She goes into this abandoned factory building and there's an old lady who's squatting in there. She's got a TV. She's got like one blind eye, classic like spooky old lady horror movie stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
And Tara goes, "You look like you've been waiting for me." I was like, oh, well,
does she?
She's just in here. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, right.
You think everybody's waiting for you?
Yeah, when you walk into a room?
Yeah, she probably hasn't seen anybody walk in here.
I guess we're all waiting for each other, Will, if you think about it.
The place is basically flooded, and Tara goes, "Where is she?" Doesn't say a name. She just goes, "Where is she?" And the lady points into the water.
Ew.
So Tara jumps into the water and goes diving around with a flashlight and finds a body. It is Jeannie's body. And this is where I wrote down for the first time, this is just the movie The Ring.
Totally. Also, I'm having a hard time visualizing. Is the lady sitting like in water? Where's the water?
Yeah, she's like I am.
It's all around her?
It's sort of not clear either. It's like this place is flooded. And then I guess there's a platform that's just barely above the water line.
Okay.
And the lady is sitting up there.
So it's all flooded, but you can go deep.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
It's very puzzling to look at. But so she goes into the water and she finds this dead body that seemingly has been haunting people.
Right.
Just like
Yeah, totally.
The Ring. And it's like as if The Ring had another villain who was a serial killer.
Right. How strange.
It's so strange. So she drags the body out of the water. And that face is the face on the poster. Because like her face is like sort of like cut up by the doctor, but also she's been underwater and stuff. It is, I'll say, seeing the body under the water is genuinely creepy. And I've always had sort of a fear of like going into the water and like murky water where you can't see anything. And what if there's a body in there? Because there easily might be.
Absolutely.
So I will say this actually I found kind of creepy. And then I just have a big section called what? Tara from here goes to the hospital to see Steven Dorff. And when she gets there, she gets a phone call from the ghost.
Steven Dorff, the ghost.
From Jeannie, who is urging Tara to find her.
Didn't she already find her?
Yeah, that's why I'm confused. She did find her. What? What's going on? And then I wrote down, why are we ignoring that Tara just found a body? She didn't call anyone? She didn't call the police?
Right.
And then the ghost on the phone says, time for us to become one. Which I thought maybe was like a threat of possession.
Yeah.
I'll come back to life. I'll possess you.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with anything. And then the hospital starts... she has a vision and the hospital starts to collapse around her. As if there are bodies in the walls.
What?
that is not clear and that does not
This
pay
woman
off.
hasn't had visions or anything before in this movie either, right?
No, it's insane. It's like so off the rails. Stephen
This
Dorff
sounds like a 3%er.
Oh, it's crazy, Kristen. We cut to just like a character who works at the hospital going to visit Stephen Dorff, only to say like, oh my God, he's not here. Mm-hmm. So he got out of the hospital.
Okay.
He's gotten to Tara's house and she goes, you broke out, didn't you? And
Well, yeah, I'm here.
he goes, more like a slow trot.
Okay. All right.
That's not really the right response.
Sure.
Okay. They go to the morgue to check out that body that Tara found finally.
Right.
They find out that the doctor did an autopsy on her while she was still alive. Mm-hmm. And in her stomach contents, they find a tube of lipstick, which when you open it contains a note from Jeannie.
Oh.
So at some point when she was being tortured, she wrote a note,
Right.
put it in the lipstick, and swallowed it.
Yeah.
And the note says, the guilty must be punished. And they extrapolate from this, she didn't want a burial. She wanted revenge.
Why would she bother doing that?
I don't know how she did it.
I don't either. I don't know how you could swallow a whole lipstick tube.
I have no idea. And every
But-
time we see the doctor, every woman that he's like torturing has her arms tied out like far away from her body.
Why would you bother swallowing that? It's not like the doctor's name or something.
Well,
you know?
on the back of it, it has his address.
Oh, okay.
So it does have pertinent information.
Okay.
But I will say the line that they go, she didn't want a burial, she wanted revenge.
Mm-hmm.
In The Ring, when Naomi Watts finds Samara and she takes her body out of the well, she goes, oh my God, she didn't want me to remove her body. This makes her more powerful.
Oh,
So it's the exact same thing here.
Wow.
Now, on IMDb, they make a point of saying that The Ring wouldn't come out for like a couple of months after this movie was released. But
that is surprising to hear.
But The Ring is a remake
Right.
of a 1998 movie, a Japanese movie called Ringu.
I'm just surprised this isn't capitalizing off of the American success of The Ring.
Yeah.
You know?
No,
That's very surprising.
This is somebody who saw Ringu.
For sure.
The Japanese pre-make of the American The Ring.
Yes.
Get on the
original.
Get on the pre-make.
Yeah, the pre-make train.
The pre-make is the original.
It's like what is it in Scream? A requel.
A requel. Don't believe in that.
Yeah.
So I think that somebody watched Ringu and realized this is pretty good. Oh, somebody else owns the rights? I'll do it first.
I'll just basically do it.
And that's what this entire movie
Yeah.
is. So she must have been tortured for 2 days before she died, hence the 48 hours later why people die when they go to the website.
Oh, okay.
Which is exactly why Samara
Why would she? Yeah.
gives people 7 days
Right.
after seeing the tape, because she lived for 7 days in the well before she died.
Right.
So it's the exact same thing.
Yes.
Not only that,
She doesn't sound like a vengeful ghost, though.
no.
This Jeannie.
She'll get her revenge on the doctor,
Yeah.
I will say. But I also listened back to our episode where we talked about J-horror. And you talked about some J-horror conventions and
Yes.
how the horror is always around you. It's not just confined to like a haunted house. It's inescapable. There is frequently like a young girl who is the embodiment of the evil.
Yeah.
And that certainly is the case here.
Right.
And that usually those stories just have a tendency to be associated with environments where it's wet.
Yeah, they like a
or-
wet story.
Exactly. And that's what this is. This is a J-horror movie made by
Yeah.
somebody who does not understand and is
You're-
ripping something off.
You're absolutely correct.
It's pretty fascinating.
It's indisputable to me.
They find so they go to the doctor's apartment and they find he's got a magazine that has a picture of the smokestack. Mm-hmm. It's on the cover of
loves
a
these
magazine and they go,
smokestacks.
my God, it's here. So they go there and that's where the doctor is. But
Right.
again, I feel like they could have gotten here faster.
Right.
Stephen
They
Dorff
already had a direction about the smokestacks.
They did.
They didn't really need another.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Stephen Dorff has the doctor at gunpoint, and he hides behind the woman he's torturing. And Stephen Dorff goes, "You've already tortured her. I may as well shoot her, put her out of her misery." I was like, "This is not hero talk."
I don't think so. That logic doesn't wash.
No. So I can almost. It's a reach.
Yeah.
But if it's supposed to be cop talk of like
Yeah,
your
right.
bargaining chip means nothing to me,
Yeah.
it's harsh. All right.
It's
I
going to
guess-
further traumatize that woman.
for sure. Also, what we know is that this is all being live streamed. So
Oh my God.
there are a bunch of people that are watching Stephen
I
Dorff
temporarily
say, "I'll
forgot."
shoot her too. I'm not even here to save her. I'm here to stop you. I'll kill her myself."
Collateral damage.
Psychotic. So Tara pulls the lipstick tube out, and it completely flummoxes the doctor. He loses his cool entirely. He fumbles backward and falls down. He reaches for a gun and he shoots Steven Dorff in the chest.
That makes sense if we knew that the doctor loved lipstick.
Or knew that she swallowed it?
Yeah.
Or knew exactly that
That's
lipstick?
the thing. Yeah, I mean...
It could be any lipstick. I don't know. Maybe you're bluffing.
Right.
Anyway, he shoots Steven Dorff in the chest, who, gasping, on his, hands and knees now, probably going to die, reaches for the only thing that can possibly save him, a computer keyboard.
Thank God.
And in the doctor's computer, in the doctor's hotbox, he types in feardotcom.com. And the ghost of Jeannie says hi to the doctor. She does not ask him if he wants to play or anything like that, though. She provides him a vision of herself as a child that then morphs into her as an adult, that then morphs into her with her face all scarified. And then a giant 3D bad CGI syringe flies at him. And then his head is flayed open like Hellraiser. Almost exactly.
By a syringe?
Like Hellraiser, just like hooks and wires. There's just too much. People praised the German expressionist visuals. I think it's like an occupational hazard. I'm so sick of hearing about German expressionism on this show. I'm so sick of talking about German expressionism. It comes up so much. He's in a mind prison full of victims and stuff.
Wait, but just real quick, how is his head splayed open like Hellraiser if it's a syringe?
This is all surreal. This is all like what's happening in his mind. So his skin is peeled back, and instead of there being a skull, it's just a exposed cartoon brain.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay.
And Jeannie is now almost like a pinhead. She's like standing there in her monster face, sort of judging him as guilty. Now, there's also no reason that I recall of, was she a judge in life? I don't know. All this judging talk is weird.
She was a judge.
Anyway, she very quickly pulls all the skin off his body, and then he turns into a bunch of bugs and falls apart.
Like Oogie Boogie.
Yeah, like Oogie Boogie. Mike dies from his gunshot wounds, leaving Tara alone. The end of the movie is she's in bed with her cat, and then it just ends. It was horrible.
That sounds really bad.
But it gave me what I wanted of them not understanding the internet.
Yeah,
where, you go there and somebody goes like, "Oh, hello, Will." Like the command, the ever-present genius of.
They understood the assignment.
Oh, Chris, and it lives in my head rent free.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. Now I wrote down here, I want a trend of remaking bad movies. Right now.
Yeah, like Fear.com.
Yeah. And that's a joke that many people have said of we should be remaking the bad movies. Don't remake good movies.
Mm-hmm.
But after watching this, I'm like, yeah, why can't this become its own sort of micro trend?
Yeah.
Like Blumhouse model, $5 million, take a bad high concept horror movie and see if you can fix it. That's the game.
Yeah.
Right?
It would be a game.
Yes.
Which is why I think it wouldn't happen.
But I think that I could imagine that being kind of a craze where it's like a new high concept horror movie comes out a couple of times a year because we're remaking all of these weird, forgotten horror movies.
I mean, that'd be sweet.
I think that would be super fun. And then I have I already mentioned these, so I have nothing else to say. It was horrible.
It sounds horrible.
I guess I can tell you this. You can't quite see it because we've got the
I'll move this for a
wonderful
sec.
balloon bouquet. But if you go today to fear.com.com, I was curious if it would forward to, I don't know, Paramount Pictures or something like that. See, because they probably still own the domain.
Sold the domain.
Nobody gives these things up. All that fear.com.com is a GIF of a skeleton slapping its own butt.
Oh my God.
And a rotating janky font that says, "Oh no, you are cursed."
That's really what's there today?
Yeah, this is what's there.
That's
I recorded
cuckoo.
this today. In the video version, I'm showing it on the screen.
Right.
So go to fear.com.com and this is what you get. "Oh no, you are cursed." And one of those, I think it's like a classic cartoon with all these skeletons, the skeleton dance or something.
Yeah.
Just slapping his butt.
That is so goofy.
So weird.
That is existing there today.
Yes.
It's extremely weird. I don't know why they still have that.
I don't know. Somebody has to pay for the up.
I guess they forgot to cancel their GoDaddy auto renew.
I guess. I have no idea. But
or
there
Wix,
you go.
God forbid.
God forbid. It's been a long
Wix
time coming.
Sponsor us.
I have always wanted to see Feardotcom.
And finally.
Now I've done it.
Finally, you were able to.
Now I've really done it.
Well, guess what? I never wanted to see Hellraiser Hellworld.
I'm so happy you had to watch this.
And yet I've seen it.
Yeah.
I paid for it.
Did you really?
Yes.
I got Fear.com for free.
And I had to pay hard-earned money to rent it.
Uh-oh.
It wasn't streaming for free
much was
anywhere. I did SD, so it was $2.99 plus tax.
I was hoping it was like $70. They really don't want people to see
I
this.
would cancel the show.
Yeah.
If it were $70. Okay, I gotta tell you, it was not good, but it was bad. I didn't hate it.
Hellraiser is a massive topic.
Yeah, it totally is.
Do you have any familiarity with Hellraiser?
Only that I've seen the first one at least once. I really don't remember it. I know that it made me feel gross.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And I've just avoided it since then, basically. I was like at a dude's house and watching it and just like, ugh.
It's very yucky. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really it.
Okay.
So I had to look up a couple things when I was watching this. I was like, what is this exactly? Like, I didn't know what a Cenobite was.
Yeah.
So I had to find out. And so there's a line in almost the beginning of the movie where I thought it was funny because I was like, okay, I actually need more exposition here. And I feel like we're used to joking about people like explaining something into a sentence. You're like, oh my God, I know you had to do it, but it sounds so goofy. But there was this sentence where I was like, what the hell does all this mean? A character said, Mike, Cenobites aren't real. And even if they were, I never opened the lament configuration. And I was like, what?
Wow. Yeah. So they were I mean, this is like Hellraiser 8, right?
Yeah.
So they probably know that at this point, if you're watching this movie.
Yeah, it's not going to be your first entry into the franchise. So I totally get it.
Yeah.
But because it is almost practically my first entry into it, I was like, what?
Yeah.
So here's what happens in the. But let me backtrack. Like I said, I was surprised. I really didn't hate it. Pinhead's barely in it.
Do you love this?
No.
Do you like it?
No.
Do you recommend it?
No.
You gonna buy it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not good. But I was like, at least look, it was mercifully short.
Okay.
It was an hour and a half long. Like it's not that actual gross. Like it's supposed to be gross, but I was just kind of like, it was just so dumb.
Yeah.
It was fine, but it wasn't boring actually.
Oh, okay.
Ever. It wasn't like cool or good, but it wasn't a horrible watching experience. I've definitely watched things on the show that I have enjoyed far less than this.
Yeah.
So as far as like things I've had to watch for Guides in the Unknown, it's got to be mid-tier.
Okay.
Not horrible.
I'm shocked because all I know about the Hellraiser movies.
It's bad. It is bad, but
I know that they're just like gross and they're just like about like, people doing the do.
I know when I look.
Pleasure is pain.
Yes, that's the whole thing.
And
Is
lofty
Cenobites?
dialogue.
Cenobites. Yeah, but I kind of liked that. I was like, maybe I could like Hellraiser because they're talking about the friggin' lament configuration and like Le Marchand or whatever, like some bad guy,
Right.
And just being really like flowery and so dorky. And I was like, I think I'm into this.
So the lament configuration is a puzzle box. If you solve it, you summon the Cenobites, who are Pinhead and his brood.
cronies. Their names are like, what are they?
Butterball.
It's like Chomper and Bleeder or something.
Chatter.
I have it here. It's Chatterer.
Yeah.
And something with a B. I'll come across it, I guess, when they.
You sure it's not Butterball?
No, I'm not
I think
sure.
in the original movie, it's Butterball.
I'm not sure it's not Butterball. Wait, are you being serious?
I'm being very serious.
No, it is not Butterball.
It is Butterball. I think in the first
William,
movie.
shut up.
Kristen, I am not kidding.
It's not Butterball.
I am not kidding.
Look it up right now.
Okay, I'm going to type it in in a second.
Anyway.
Hellraiser Butterball. Yeah, it autofills.
Get out of here.
Kristen.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm saying this like literally, it looks like a thumb.
It does
like
look like a
it
thumb.
looks like Thumbtanic. And like those thumb movies.
It does look like Thumbtanic.
You know?
It's disgusting.
Yeah. Who am I thinking? Oh, Chatterer or Bound. That's what I was thinking of. Chatterer and Bound are in this movie.
Oh, okay.
God, Butterball. So yeah, so the Cenobites are like hell creatures from a hell dimension that find pain and pleasure indistinguishable.
Yeah.
And so they act out their sadomasochistic whims on people, killing them in the process because they are, they're just like, oh, this seems pleasurable or whatever. But then it's like chopping someone's head off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's so.
And they think that they're showing you the way, like the light?
I don't know. That's not made clear in this movie, but I went and read stuff about the original Hellraiser to get a little bit of context after I watched the movie. I don't know. It was just like they're just enjoying sensual delights, but their sensual delights happen to kill humans or something.
Sucks.
Yeah, it totally sucks.
Yeah, I think I read The Hellbound Heart, the original short story.
You
last
did.
Year.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And I think my review was, ugh. It was like, ooky.
So gross. And I don't know if this is always his outfit, but Pinhead's outfit in this is just strips that expose his nipples and belly button.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
It's so weird.
The costume designer is like, what are the anomalies on a torso?
Right.
Let's highlight those. It's mostly just skin, but every once in a while there's a different kind of skin, and we're going to expose those parts.
Double nips in the B button, and I think we got something.
And it's so weird that it's not even just like it would be completely goofy. But I don't know, why like a rectangle for each of those things? If you just want to expose them,
It's
just
like
have a little circle.
window.
Yeah.
A little barn door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is just so weird.
It's very
Reading
particular.
about Hellraiser, I was like, what the hell?
Like Pinhead, all those pins in his head are just to distract from whatever was going on with the nips and the belly button.
I can't believe the belly button was exposed.
Yeah.
That's so strange. Nips, I kind of get.
Right, yeah.
But belly button?
I know.
I don't think that's like a known erogenous zone. And I don't think it's titillating for other people usually. There's an ass for every seat, but like it's not like a known sexy part of the body.
I guess for Doug Bradley, I don't know.
Why not assless chaps or something?
No. Tummyless belly button.
I could almost talk about this outfit
Yeah.
all day.
By the way, the assless chaps are also characters from this movie. There's a couple of guys who don't have an ass.
Assless and chaps are a couple of the Cenobites. So anyway, here's what the movie's actually about. So it opens on a funeral of someone.
Pinhead shows up with his friends assless and chaps.
Oh God, it's so ridiculous. I couldn't believe.
I think we're gonna do more Hellraiser in the future because it's just so baffling.
It's
Is this the one where a guy turns into a CD monster?
No.
There's one of these movies where somebody dies, and this is almost like another case of like then 90s, early 2000s technology being so alien that horror didn't know what to do.
Right.
Somebody used compact discs, CDs,
Yeah.
to kill somebody, and they came back as a Cenobite named CD.
Oh my God.
And he's got CDs sticking out of his head, and he throws CDs at people like ninja stars. I'm not kidding. It is in the movie. I think I'd like you to watch more Hellraiser.
Maybe. I don't know. I also think that because this had like a 2000s sheen of trying to be like a crappy like teen or young person movie, it was more palatable. I don't know if I can, like the first Hellraiser movie, I read the synopsis. It's a dude who's into S&M, but he has pushed the boundaries so that earthly delights no longer do anything for him.
Right.
So he deliberately opens the lament configuration to
I need delights from another realm.
to unleash the delights of hell.
Unleash the delights upon me.
Because he like can't handle that.
So stupid.
It's so crazy. And then he like wears somebody else's skin at one point or something. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I need more delights.
Like, I bet the delights here are doing fine.
Yeah.
You're probably fine.
He's probably sufficiently delighted.
Look, if you care about it all that much that you're willing to open the lament configuration, even if it's not like an A+ experience,
Right.
I bet you're still getting yours.
By the time you get to Hellraiser 8, nobody knows about how every time you open the lament configuration, they like rip your face off, shove it up your ass.
Well, no, they do. Okay, I haven't even talked about what happens in this movie yet. No, they do know that because Basically, Hellraiser is a video game in this world. They know all about the lament configuration and everything because it's a video game that they play.
That's weird.
It's meta. It definitely is aping Scream a little bit. At one point in particular, there's a point where kind of like the final girl protagonist is talking to the bad guy on the phone, and she says some crazy line that's like, what did she say? She goes, "Get your mythology right, buddy," and then like explains the world of Hellraiser to him.
To Pinhead?
Not to Pinhead. Pinhead? I mean, he's a bad guy.
I guess it'd be hard for him to hold a phone.
Why?
The pins would keep it a few inches away from his head.
I was thinking about his hand being something wrong. No, there's a different bad guy in this. And she's talking to that bad guy. And she's like, "Get your mythology right, buddy." Sure. Pinhead, blah, blah, blah. And is like, she's like the expert on Pinhead. So it's very kind of meta screamy.
Yeah.
But okay, here's the deal with this. So it opens on a funeral, and it's these like college kids or whatever, and their friend has died by suicide. And it's, all terrible and everything. And there's a friend who seems estranged from them, who's like, "It was our fault. We should have stopped it," or whatever. And like walks out of the church. And then you have this girl wake up in bed like, "No." And she's like, "Oh, phew, it was a dream, the funeral." But it wasn't really. I think I may have misunderstood this. I thought that it was just a straight up dream. It was actually a memory that she was dreaming about. So this really did happen. I found it confusing. I don't know if anybody else out there would find it confusing, but when they started to mention their friend Adam who had died or whatever, I was like, "Oh, that really happened?" I didn't really get it.
Yeah.
So then, they show her friend come over, and he comes to there's like a knock on the door or whatever. She opens it, and there's somebody standing there in a Cenobite mask, like there would be in the real world, like you get at like a Halloween store or something. Yeah. And she's like, "Mike," and he's like, "I got it on the internet for $100.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yep. And that's Henry Cavill.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Okay.
So then
Superman.
Yes. So he comes in and looks at her computer, and he's like, "Look, I got this invitation to the Hellworld party." And she's like, "I'm not going to go to that. Like, I'm over it," or whatever. And he's like, "No, come on, we got to go," or whatever. And she's like, "No, we don't. Our friends aren't doing this on a Friday night. They have better things to do." And then it cuts to two other people who are like playing a Hellraiser game. And then they get the invitation to Hellworld because it's like you got to a certain level and you get this invitation
to a physical location,
to a real world party.
So what does the game look like?
They show it, William, for 30 seconds.
Okay.
It's on, a 2005 computer. It's just a black screen and like flames and the lament configuration.
Oh, so you're just solving like the lament configuration in a game.
It seems like, you certainly weren't like playing as Pinhead or anything.
Okay.
But no, but you can get wrapped up in the game and take it too seriously, which is what Adam did.
My God.
And that's why he ended up killing himself.
Oh, no.
It had to do with the game. He got too caught up in it, and it took over his world.
Gotcha.
So they all end up going to the party, obviously, and they see their friend who was estranged from them at the funeral that was in real life and also in the dream. And they're like, "Jake, what are you doing here?" And he's like, "I was invited. Like, I was talking to a girl in a chat room, and she invited me to the party." And they're like, "Well, it's good to see you," or whatever.
Okay.
So then this older gentleman, this party is packed, by the way. It's like a mansion, and there are like loads of people there. And then Lance Henriksen pops up out of nowhere, this like older guy, and he's like, "Ah, I see you've all come. Follow me," or whatever. It's like just them, and the rest of the party's still just raging on, but they all go into this guy's study, basically.
So somehow they're the elite.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are at the party.
Like
Lance Henriksen
hundreds.
only takes
the 5 of them or whatever it is.
And the idea is that they just got to a certain level in the game? And
yeah, in order to
like
even
VIP-ish experience?
No, that's not clear, because everybody has unlocked a VIP-ish experience in that they were invited to the party at all. Right. He's not like, "Oh, you're the best ones, come here." He's just kind of like, "Come here." And they're like, "Okay."
So just don't mention that.
No.
Okay.
No idea why, but
Understood.
they just do it. And so they go into, it's like a freaky, scary mansion room. There is a tarot deck that is Hellraiser themed.
Excellent.
And so Pinhead is the death card. It's awesome. And the guy, Lance Henriksen, and he doesn't have a name. We only know him as the host in a removed way. That's what he's credited as.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we never learn his name. But he says, I see you all have a fondness for the macabre.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
Terrific.
And so they're looking, he's talking to them being like, I'm glad you enjoy the world of Hellraiser or whatever. I don't know what he's saying.
Did he create it?
No, he's just some guy.
Now, the only reason why this is a game is because Scream already made like a movie within a movie.
Right.
So they made this a game, I guess, or maybe the Lament configuration puzzle
I guess
box
you're right.
turns into video game.
I guess you're right. I guess it basically is, instead of a movie within a movie, it's a game within a movie. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Okay.
And so they're walking around and looking at stuff. They're like, scary heads in formaldehyde and, I don't know, all manner of gothic delights.
Right.
And also, like all the Hellraiser movies, I assume, this is a very, very sexual movie. There's a lot of nudity. It is like the least sexy sex movie I've ever seen, though.
Yeah.
It's so terrible. And at one point, one of our main characters says to her friend, they're like, I think she's looking at one of the heads of formaldehyde, and she goes, she says it's so weird, forget goosebumps, my you-know-whats are getting hard. And the guy's like, yeah.
What?
It's so strange.
She says, you know what?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. My you-know-whats are getting hard.
This is an R-rated movie, right?
Oh, absolutely.
My yabba jahabba hubbas.
Yeah, I know. No, they show tons of you-know-what's in it.
Magumbas.
But they don't but they don't want to say it for whatever reason.
I don't understand.
I don't either. I mean, it's one of the first things you see when they walk in the party. There's a lady walking down a staircase just wearing like a very like 2000s kind of like distressed leather jacket with like contrast stitching that's really big. Some people out there might be able to picture this sort of thing, but with no shirt on, and she's just walking down the stairs
Confidently.
And they're like, whoa, I think we're gonna like this party. Whatever.
This is mundane for me.
It's so funny.
I just came from the bank.
It's a crazy party, and like people are having sex on couches.
Maybe he knew. Maybe Lance Henriksen was like, oh, they're the only like normal ones. Like everyone else is like a major like getting freaky.
He's
There's
freaky
a bunch of people
though.
who listen to Cisco, if you know what I mean.
He's freaky though too, as we'll come to understand. But no, they're like it's so weird because like a party where people are having sex or whatever, like Eyes Wide Shut, that's like what they're there for. It's like a sex party. These people are like dancing, going to the bar, but then they'll just be like people doing it on a couch. And like at one point, Henry Cavill is getting celebrated by somebody.
Hello, no.
And he's just sitting in a chair, kind of like looking around. I was like, boy, this is not a great celebration because he doesn't seem all that into it. But somebody's doing a job to the best of their ability, I can assume. And he's just kind of like looking around. His phone rings and the person hands him his phone.
What?
Yes.
Oh my
while they
God.
still are going to town.
Wow.
It's so weird. It's just so weird. So they all toast together, and the host guy
while he's sitting there.
I've just went.
Can you guys do that over here by the couch? I'd like to join the toast.
Now, don't worry about her. She's fine. But yeah, it's so strange. So no, back in Lance Henriksen's like study or whatever, he's like, well, thank you for coming. A toast or whatever.
This is what my life is like. Imagine what I'm like.
This is my friend. Can't imagine what kind of guy I am. What do you think I do during the week? This is my Friday night, but my regular life can't be that far off,
What do you think
right?
I do on a Wednesday during the day?
Yeah. I bet you can't even imagine. Neither can I.
Neither can I.
A toast. Yeah. So they all toast and drink something, and then they go back out to the party. So he leads them to this wall of disgusting white masks. They're really just like a mask that has its eyes out of it so that the person inside can see, a nose, a mouth. It's nondescript. But then there are numbers on the head, on the forehead. And then he passes out the Nokia phones to everybody. And he says, the rules are that everybody wears these, but it's not everybody, but a bunch of people wear these masks, or you can or cannot take them off, whatever. But the idea is you wear these masks. They have a number on the head. It's not a phone number, though. It's not like, I don't know, it's like 5 numbers, let's say. But then he says, if you wish to indulge in the pleasure that only flesh can bring, you pick a tasty morsel and dial that number. So basically, so people are going to be boogieing on the dance floor wearing these gross masks. And if you like the cut of someone's jib, you look at the number that's on their mask's gross forehead, you put that into your Nokia phone, call them, say, hey, baby, want to come shimmy? And they will. These are the rules that you've entered into at this party, I guess. But like I said, not everyone is wearing masks. I don't know. It's so weird. So...
Free phone.
Play Snake. Cool, I loved Snake. Yeah, that's all I think of when I see those phones. So anyway, so when Henry Cavill is having fun with that gal, one of the freaky things that happens to him is that she has pushed the mask up so that her mouth is free, obviously. Right. And he looks down and the mask makes a scary face at him. It's like, yeah, like an effect thing. He's like, whoa. And then she's like, what? And he's like, nothing. Everything's fine.
Nothing, babe.
It's apropos of nothing. It just to be scary or whatever.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so now that this has happened, they're all going to split up in the party. And people start dying, obviously. So first, one of the girls in the group goes into this room that says do not enter, which she shouldn't have entered. And there's like a freaky chair in the room. And she's looking around. And then the host appears. And he's like, oh, you're not supposed to be in here or something. And puts her in the chair. She gets all strapped in, like feet and ankles. Ankles and wrists.
Yeah.
And there are these 2 saws that are like on either side of her throat, basically vertically. And he's like, don't worry, it's harmless until you remove the pin. And he removes it and he's like, now they're no longer harmless. And he puts the pin in her hand. And then they start whirring and coming at her and Pinhead appears and is like, enjoy these earthly delights or, whatever. And so obviously the thing spins and kills her. So that's our first kill. And then our main character girl is named Chelsea, and she's looking around for the girl and can't find her and just kind of moves on with life. Then then another one of their friends named Derek is getting down with somebody, and I think just dancing and stuff actually. And he loses his inhaler. And this is the second inhaler based issue that's popped up in a horror movie for me this week, surprisingly, which is weird. Yep. And it falls on the floor, and because they're on a dance floor, it's getting kicked around the floor because people are like, whatever.
Dig through the ditches and burn through the witches.
I don't think there are any recognizable songs in this movie. I don't think there's any it
reminds me that Du Hast is in Feardotcom.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, he's like my inhaler, and he's like trying to follow it. And then it gets kicked into like a grate, basically, in a floor.
Stop the frivolity!
And he, is like chasing it, and he ends up in like a scary room and ends up on a morgue table. And Pinhead and his cronies also kill him. I think they chop his head off.
So Pinhead and his friends are just here? They're just walking around this place?
Not only when the kill things happen.
Okay. Like,
it's not like Pinhead and Thumb Man or whatever, or like dancing with everybody, but during the kills they pop up to kill.
Okay.
Then Henry Cavill is hooking up with, I think, another girl. I think it's a different girl. In a different part of the place, and also shirtless, obviously.
Yeah.
So they're making out and hooking up and stuff, and then she just shoves him into this room and closes the door and runs away. And at first he's like, oh, babe, thinking this is some sort of fun play.
Right, yeah.
But then the Cenobites come out and attack him and turn him into a Cenobite. So also,
what?
I didn't realize at this point, because first, I think we'd only seen Pinhead for the first 2 kills. So when one of these Cenobites came out, Cenobites, he kind of looked like Pinhead, but just with some makeup on or something. So I was like, what's happening to Pinhead? Is he deteriorating at this party? What's going on? But then I realized it was an entirely different person.
Oh, okay.
And, whatever. So that was either Chatterer or Bound.
Right.
And Chelsea, by this point, has found out that something is wrong. I can't remember how. She must have come across somebody.
You'd think it would be pretty clear.
Right. No, but no, because these guys keep going into rooms that are like closed off and dying.
This entire thing is peculiar.
To say the least. I think maybe someone's head is in formaldehyde and she comes across it.
Oh, okay.
Not sure.
What does Henry Cavill get turned into when he's turned into a Cenobite?
He just looks like him, but all messed up. So maybe he's not a Cenobite. I don't know. No, he seems like a Cenobite. His face looks all weird.
Is he still like walking around and stuff?
No. We actually don't know that he's a Cenobite in that moment. We don't know that until the end. That he's a Cenobite. We just know that they've attacked him and killed him.
I could be wrong. I'm used to the idea of a Cenobite being like you're transformed into a minion for Pinhead. So
he's not himself anymore for sure.
Yeah,
but we don't know that yet in the movie. I'm kind of zooming ahead with what we know. We just see that he's attacked and killed or whatever, but he pops back up later. So Chelsea is, freaked out and she makes her way up to the attic and she's kind of like hiding out up there and she's like, what's going on? And there's stuff in the attic, like pictures that she looks through, and she finds a picture of their host with their friend Adam, the one who had died.
Oh.
So she's like, what's the deal? And they look like father and son. So she's like, okay, what is going on here? So she calls Jake on the phone, and the phones are constantly going, by the way. There's trickery with the phones where it'll look like Chelsea's calling you, but it's actually, I guess, Pinhead somehow or something to like lure you somewhere.
Okay.
There's lots of weird phone play, but she actually does call Jake and tells him what's going on. And they are going to run out of the house together and get out of here when the host appears and tells them this.
Okay.
They were never actually at this party. All this stuff that they thought happened didn't happen. There was a party and everything. I shouldn't say they never were. They went into the party. They did go in that room with the host. He gave them a drink. He drugged them.
Oh.
He buried all of them outside on the property in these shallow graves with like tubes to the outside so they would have oxygen. And he wanted to torture them for letting his son Adam get so deep into the Hellraiser game that he eventually died by suicide.
Oh.
So he just wants to torture these kids.
So this is all revenge plot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And what he gave them was some sort of like psychoactive drug, and combined with their own psyches and imaginations, these scenarios played out in their heads. So Henry Cavill really wasn't doing it with that girl. I know, poor guy. Aw. But
no, it's just so funny that like that's his dream.
Yeah.
So like sit on like a nasty couch at a party.
Yeah, a nasty ass couch and just like have what looks like extremely mediocre oral sex if he's just like looking around like
and take a phone call and like yeah.
This is your fantasy. But even though that stuff didn't really happen, Henry Cavill, the other guy and the girl did really die. You see, the visions were so real that it caused them to die. So the girl... Oh, and I should explain... Let me backtrack just for a second. When I said that Henry Cavill was a Cenobite, that was what Chelsea saw a vision of. So comes... So she sees when she's still in the house and doesn't know that she's buried on the ground or whatever.
Yeah.
She sees him coming at her and he's all like not there and he looks like a Cenobite, but it didn't really happen. But the way that they actually did die is that the girl who in her vision was in that chair with the razors coming at her, because it was so real, she clawed her own neck so much to get the saws away from her that she killed herself.
Whoa.
The guy with the asthma did choke because of his asthma.
Okay.
And Henry Cavill... He just died of good old-fashioned fright.
Do they say that?
Yeah.
How do they know?
I don't know.
How does anyone know that?
I don't know.
Okay.
Unclear.
All right.
So Chelsea and the guy are still alive in there.
So Pinhead was never really here at all?
I guess not, no.
And the whole Hellworld video game thing?
Is like I said, it's barely tied.
It's the setup for the movie.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the movie.
No. So the police arrive and they're able to release Chelsea and Jake from their coffins. Okay. But the host has already gotten away. Oh. And how did the police know to come and rescue them? They got a call from this house. And then they say, but nobody's living in this house. It hasn't been inhabited in forever. But Chelsea looks up the window and she sees her friend Adam in the window.
Oh.
So the ghost of her friend somehow called the police to let them know what his father had done to save his friends.
It's weird for a ghost to call the police, huh?
You gotta do what you gotta do.
I guess.
He had probably had to summon all of his energy.
Yes,
That can't be easy.
Was not a cheap maneuver.
No. So then we see, like I said, the host got away, and the host is in a hotel room because I guess he's on the run now, and he has the little cube, the lament configuration.
Yeah.
And he opens it up. And so then Pinhead and Chatterer and Bound show up. And Pinhead's like, I always admired your son's ingenuity.
What?
You though. And then like one of the bad, the other guys, like has a whip, of course. And he's like, fwop, fwop, fwop. And cuts him into 3 pieces with the whip. So then he just like falls apart standing.
Oh my God.
And then, his head and shoulders hit the ground and he moves his head. He's like looking at Pinhead because his head's on the side and he's looking at Pinhead like, meh. And it's like he made the decision to like, I'm going to look away now. But
what?
It's just his shoulders and head.
So after all that, so it wasn't merely a simple revenge plot of Lance Henriksen trying to, I don't know, get back at them for his son's suicide via this grand illusion of like, you all play this game, I'll lure you with the game.
Right.
He also actually has the lament configuration himself and wants to solve it?
I guess because his son had it, maybe he has it. They seriously don't explain it. He just kind of sits down and is like, this infernal thing or something.
Did his son have the box itself?
I guess.
Previously?
I don't know.
Okay.
They don't say that.
Bizarre.
So I don't know. But Pinhead and his friends kill him. The end is, it's all weird, but the end is very weird. So that happens. Then we cut to, our final 2 heroes in a car driving away. And then Lance Henriksen just appears in the back seat.
What?
And they're like, ah! And like drive all crazy and I guess probably swerve off the road or something. That's the end of them. And then that's not even the end. Then we just have police looking at the hotel room where Lance Henriksen died and it's all bloody. And they're like, boy, what a scene or something. And that's it.
Oh, okay.
It's so, the end is really weird. They just used that footage
because they shot it and they didn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's really, really weird.
It feels like it might have been like a studio note to go, no, you have to get the real Pinhead in here. Because throughout the events of the movie, we're going to reveal that's hallucinations of them in the boxes.
Right.
So we're going to need to bring in the actual Pinhead.
But why the scene with the cops after we're just looking at the bloody room? It's so weird.
I have no idea.
But
I do have a mild fascination with the aftermath of a horror movie, the immediate aftermath. Mm-hmm. Like a detective will show up.
Right.
And be like, why is this man in 3 pieces?
Yeah.
And they're going to try to like figure out what happened.
Yeah. It's almost like he was trisected by a whip.
Yeah, exactly. Like
a magic whip.
We found fingerprints.
Yeah.
And they're associated with someone called Bound, the Chatterer.
Right.
I don't know. I think we're out of our depth. Yeah. Oh my
we have to call in the Hell Cops.
Yeah. Hell Police.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yep. So that is Hellraiser Hellworld, light on the techno weirdness.
So just so people know why we even selected this.
Well, because the premise was that, that it has to do with a Hellraiser video game.
Even the cover art.
Yeah.
The cover art, the poster for this movie.
Oh, yes.
Is Pinhead with a bunch of like digital, text.
Right. He has like binary on his face, like the 0s and 1s, and it says evil goes online.
Right.
That's a fine tagline. But then the second tagline is the newest, most horrific tale, which I think is really weird. Say the newest, most horrific tale in the Hellraiser series.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
set
just
the bar.
The newest, most horrific tale in general.
The newest Hellraiser.
Yeah.
But the tagline "Evil goes online."
Yeah, it seems very online.
Is irrelevant.
Completely.
It's merely how these events kick off.
Yeah, obviously there was something going on with Hellworld that did get Adam. It seems that it wasn't just that Adam had a pure mental health crisis. He lit himself on fire, and it had something to do with the Hellraiser world. But
they don't explain that. You know what I mean? So maybe the video game is harmful and will tear your soul apart.
Yeah, right. It's like
But
that.
we don't see whether or not that's true in this movie. We follow another story where his father gets revenge.
We just must believe that it's true.
But isn't that weird?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
It's completely weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like garbage.
Yeah.
Well, I already checked, and because once you mentioned that girl getting strapped into a chair with razor blades, I looked it up. This movie came out in 2005.
Yeah.
Which means it came out the year after Saw.
Right.
Isn't it weird?
It felt very much that felt completely like a jigsaw trap.
Isn't it weird, though, that this movie...
Inspired Saw?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, isn't it weird that this 8th Hellraiser movie that appeared on the surface to be a misunderstanding of the internet came out a year after Saw, which still... I guess it's getting dated now. But, like...
Feels
kicked
fresh.
off a modern era of
Hell yeah.
horror tropes.
Yeah, Saw rules.
It's just so weird that this came out after that. After
Yeah,
the
it is
world
weird.
had theoretically already been changed, the horror world.
Yeah, right. They still make a crap. Well, this is a direct to
It's like
video
a holdover, right? Yeah.
thing. And this was the last movie that Doug Bradley, is that his
Yeah.
name? Played Pinhead in.
Really, this was
Yes.
the end.
Yeah, his swan song.
Oh boy.
The nipples and belly button's last stand.
Well, at least he got to show off his nipples and belly button one last time.
Yeah, at least that.
Well, thank God for that.
Yes. So we hope you enjoyed our enjoyment of these terrible movies.
Questionable.
That's right. Thank you so much for listening. If you would like to support the show and get even more Guides to the Unknown, go to patreon.com/gttupod. And we have a variety of tiers there that you can choose from to either get a bonus show from us every single week, every other week, or every 4 weeks. We appreciate it so much. There are dozens of shows over there by now. There's also a Discord that you get to enter when you become a patron, and there are really cool people there talking about stuff every single day. It's awesome, and it genuinely keeps the show going. So thank you so much to our existing patrons.
That's right. And just a reminder, starting at the Banshee tier, people are going to get to hear our review of the new Scream movie. But that was episode 40 of the Netherworld Dispatch.
Right.
The easiest way I can put it is if you sign up at the Demon tier, you get access to all of them.
Yeah, 40 episodes plus, because we also have just kind of random bonuses that aren't necessarily Netherworld Dispatch that are on there.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Netherworld Dispatch is our Patreon-only podcast, by the way. That's what we're talking about.
Yes. And this Monday, we're going to have another brand new episode. It will be exclusive to Demons.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So thank you all so much. Make sure you go to gttupod.com. You can find links there to every show that we have previously done, to our merchandise on TeePublic. You can find our Contact Us page, our advertising page, if you would like to sponsor an episode. Send us your stories, gttupod@gmail.com.
Yep.
Send us physical stuff in the real world. We've got our P.O. box address up there.
Yes.
And follow at GTTUpod on all social media, including TikTok. We've been
Yep.
putting out some stuff there lately.
Yep.
GTTUpod on TikTok. Go check it out. And you can also follow us if you'd like to contact us directly.
That's right. I am at Chillin' Kristen.
And I am at The Myth Traveler. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us and for, traveling into cyberspace.
Yeah. What a long, strange trip it's been.
Some horror trash.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week for more, probably higher caliber material.
I would imagine.
It'd be hard to get worse.
Yeah, true.
But until that time comes, we must travel.
Back to the Netherworld. Go we. Hellworld got a 17% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. So it did handily beat Fear.com.
Yeah, it's 14 points above.
Yeah, not bad.
Not too shabby.
But not good.
I will say, I do also want people to send us more Cybertrash. Because I know that I'm very finicky about this horror subgenre of movies from around the 2000s that misunderstand what the internet is. But I know they're out there.
Yeah,
Because I remember seeing them advertised. Feardotcom and Hellraiser Hellworld were just the two ones that sprang.
Yeah, sprang to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we'll do a part 2 someday.
I want more.
Yeah, I would do more.
It's such a particular world to see people going like, promise me you won't log on to that website. It's just so,
It's really funny.
incredible.